Hi guys, it's Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. It is so nice to see you, and it's so nice to be back here again. So it's been a couple of minutes since I have done one of these recordings, one of these videos, and I essentially took the summer off and then found it harder and harder to get back into. So I'm jumping in feet first today. And for those of you who may be catching one of my videos for the very first time, excuse me, frog in my throat. My name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, and I help people make really deep spiritual healing connections with the animals in their life. I work with private clients, animals who have got anxiety, animals who have been rescued, and I teach this. I teach a lot of animal Reiki. And as a consequence of that, I, I realized that I could make connections, healing connections with animals on the other side. So animals who have crossed from this world into the other, and it's a beautiful connection that I've been able to make. And so as I jumped back on here, I found so many comments and so many requests. That is how I do this. For completely complimentary, it is my pleasure to give this gift to you, and that is to do readings for your animals who have crossed to the other side. People are they want so much. They have such a strong desire to connect with their animals on the other side. And I know this. My 3 senior dogs all crossed within an 18-month period, but they opened up so many doors for me in being able to stay connected with them after they crossed to the other side. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll see some of my stories about how I explain that, how they never leave us, how their energy shifts from one thing to another, from one state to another, but they're still always with us. And it's more than just a feeling in our heart. They are literally still with us if we can open our mind to the possibility. So I do these readings for folks. And as I mentioned, I got back on here and I look at all the comments, and I've tried to reply to as many as I could. So if I've missed your comment, I do apologize. I will continue to look at them because I want to do the readings for your animals, your pets are the ones who are calling out to speak to you as much as you want to speak to them. So for today, the way that I would do this before, and I've kind of practiced this over the summer and gotten, I think, a little bit better at it, because I used to describe it as Whoopi Goldberg. So I would go into a meditative state and I would open my mind and I would invite an animal to join me. And all of a sudden I had animals from everywhere going, oh, me, pick me, pick me, pick me. And it was very hard for me to concentrate. It was very hard for me to understand whose animal I was talking to, so for each person. And I think that I might have gotten a little bit better at that, to the point where I'm not making notes anymore. So the way I used to do it is I would quiet my mind, open my heart, invite an animal to join me, and then I would do automatic writing. So automatic writing is a process where you let spirit, source, or the animal speak through your writing. And so I would just begin to write whatever thoughts came to me, and I would share those thoughts. And now I'm going to be a little bit braver, and I'm going to get braver still, I think. And I don't have any notes. So the only note that I wrote down for myself was the name. It's Owen, and Owen is a cat. And I'll tell you what Owen has to say in just a minute. And Owen is just waiting, pacing, waiting to share with his human companion. But then I'm thinking I might start doing these live, guys. Do live readings for you, so there can be no mistake that the animals who are coming through, who are allowing me to speak on their behalf, that it's in real time and not just, so that, I mean, I could show you all around. This is my office here. You got, over here, I forget I'm flipped on the camera. This is Kane. Kane is a new piece of artwork that I received as a gift this summer. Kane is the Hawaiian word for higher self. So I love to think of this lion as my higher self, a visual animal of my higher self. And yeah, so we're just going to proceed without notes. I would use a dry erase board is what I used to use. So we're going to see if I can't share with you today exactly what Owen has to say. And in general, so this is where I also would get tripped up every once in a while. People are looking for something very specific to know it's their animal. They're looking for, what was my animal's favorite food? Does he miss me? Can you define the way he crossed? And there are so many things that that we are looking for that our animals don't care to share. If the very first thing I would tell you is that they choose not to remember the way they crossed. So if there was, especially if there was a trauma associated with it, the one thing that they consistently tell me, each and every single animal who comes into my meditation space, every single animal who enters my heart tells me that they simply transitioned. It just happened. One minute they were in their body, the next minute they were out, and that they love the space that is beyond their physical body. They will share with, this is Owen starting to come through. All right, so let's go back to Owen, and we'll let him share all this information. So Owen is a cat. I don't know the name of Owen's human. So if you are Owen's human, please put a comment in letting me know that that you are Owen's human, that your kitty cat was named Owen. And Owen, I picture as a calico. So I see a beautiful calico, not just any calico, absolutely gorgeous calico cat. And I can do these from pictures, but most often when people leave me comments, I get no picture. Sometimes I don't even know what kind of animal it is that I'm connecting with. So Owen wants to say one thing first about cats, that when cats cross, and that cat owners, he's telling me cat owners should already know this. If you have a cat in your life, you are not an owner. That's the very first thing. In fact, they are a human owner. The cat comes to you, and they come to you for very specific needs. When a cat enters your life, it is on their terms, not yours. You may think that you have rescued that cat, but in reality, that cat has rescued you. And how many of you who have cats in your little animal family have just had them come to you out of the clear blue? Cats that appear. I know I've had two, one particular named Thomas. Cats just will show up for you, and they'll show up at your door, and they'll stay for as long as they choose. And if you try to confine them, the cats that just kind of show up, if you try to confine them, they will find ways of expressing to you their displeasure at being confined, because they are free spirits. All cats, each and every one, is a free spirit. There are some cats who may elect to spend all of their days with us, and they love to be lap cats. There are just as many cats who want nothing more than their freedom, and life with you is on their terms. So Owen, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit off track of what I started to talk about, but that's okay, because Owen's guiding the show here. So Owen is letting us know that that animals choose not to remember how they cross, that they're here one moment and they're not here the next. And whether, especially when it comes to trauma, they want us to know that they don't feel the trauma. They don't, not only do they not feel the trauma, they don't remember the trauma. So we human beings get all wrapped up in the guilt. And I'm including myself in that. I'm lumping myself right in with all of us. We get all wrapped up in this guilt that we should have done something more, that there was something different we should have done. We should have taken them to the vet sooner. We should have not left the car window open. We should have not left the door open. We should have fed them this or that, or give them this medicine or that medicine. Owen, okay, he's pacing right now. I can feel him kind of like pacing around my feet, to get this part of the message over with, that they don't need to remember how they crossed, and they do not want us to feel that guilt or remorse. I have done a dozen videos. You guys can look at them, and it's, oh, over here, I think will be the little pop-up on the screen, where I'll put one of those videos. Absolve yourself of all the guilt. Excuse me. And I will, and I'm here in Colorado, very dry, so bear with me. I have to take a drink of water every once in a while. I know some people hate to see that, but there's not much I can do about it. Okay, so that was almost like a communication thing, saying, let's change the subject from Owen, right? Okay, so they don't want us to feel guilt. And you can watch any number of my videos to help yourself with releasing the guilt, or even with self-forgiveness. We sometimes hold ourselves so responsible, and our pets, when I say the word forgiveness, they're like, what? What do you mean forgiveness? There's nothing to forgive. So you're already forgiven from the other side. It's you right in your own heart that needs to forgive. So you can watch any of those videos. Look up, just search for forgiveness and release the guilt. So Owen wants us to know, especially for cats, this is specifically for people who have cats in their lives. When they cross, they do so in private. So I'm getting the sense that Owen left. Owen left the house. Owen ran out the door. or Owen just wasn't there one day and you don't know where he went. And I know that this also happened with another cat I know specifically, who was one of a cat of a dear friend of mine named Christopher. Cats cross on their own term, and the way that they transition is always their choice and their terms. Owen is saying that he left not to cause you anxiety and not to make you wonder and not to make you wait, hoping that he would come back. Although, Owen is coming back. Owen is going to come back to you in the form of a kitten. And I don't even see a tabby kitten. I mean, I don't even see a calico kitten. I see a tabby kitten. Anyhow, thank you, Owen. Owen is letting you know that he did not mean to cause you anxiety. He did not mean to cause you to wonder where he went, and to think that you've done something wrong. Owen did not abandon you. It wasn't about abandonment. It was about that his death was private, that his transition was private, and that most cats will choose privacy. So when your cat hides under the bed or hides in the closet or walks out the door, they go into hiding to cross, not because they want. Oh, Owen is saying it is to spare you. It's to spare you the sadness. They believe that they are sparing you the grief by you not having to see their transition out of their physical body. They would much rather transition out of their physical body on their own and then have you feel their spirit still with them. So I know this for certain, and I know that all of you have seen this in one way or another, especially our dogs and our cats, sometimes birds. The dogs and cats are very, very aware of the spiritual presence of an animal who has crossed. They experience grief and depression and sadness after a loss, just like we do, but they recover much quicker because they sense the physical or the spiritual energy of the animal who has crossed to the other side. So if you ever see a cat looking off into the corner, I did a video once. You guys are going to have to go back and watch this. It's called Reiki for Dogs. And I was house sitting in a cabin in the middle of the Rocky Mountains with not a soul around. It was me and 3 dogs. And I did a Reiki session, and I sit with my eyes closed. I just closed my eyes. As I closed my eyes, I'm sitting there, can't see a thing, but I had the video running. The dogs they look off into the corner, and then they settle into the Reiki session. Like, what were they looking at in the corner? There was no person, there was no other animal. What are they looking at? I discover after I show the video to the homeowner whose home I was watching and pets I was dog sitting, she had had a dog who had recently crossed within that year. I know for a fact that they were looking at that dog. And when I closed my eyes and went quiet, they connected with the spirit of that animal. So when you see your cat or your dog looking off into the corner, and it's like they're looking at something, but there is nothing that you can see there, it's because they sense the spiritual energy. So where am I going with this? Because Owen wants you to feel him there next to you. As I could almost physically feel Owen winding in and out my legs, he wants you to feel. Why do I picture that he didn't have a tail? Owen, what happened to your tail? I just got this feeling that there was no tail. Anywho, he wants you to quiet your mind. He wants you to close your eyes and feel him there with you. He has not left you. He did not abandon you. He would not ever abandon you because he picked you. You were the human that he chose to live with. I'm also getting the sense, the number 16 just popped into my head. So perhaps Owen was 16 and it was his little body's time to say goodbye, which is why it is now Owen coming back to you as a tabby cat. And the way that I express to people is to eye contact. When, whether it's a dog or a cat or any other animal that you are rescuing, that you're adopting, that you're bringing into your home, look them in the eyes and you'll be able to see Owen in the eyes of another cat, and you'll know that's the cat to bring home. He also wants me to tell you that don't trust that it might be the same personality, because he might be coming back to have different types of fun, explore something different. And he's very satisfied with that message. Okay, so he's very happy with the message that I've shared with you. So that is for Owen. I would love to know if you are, you don't have to, I promise you can maybe anonymous. I receive so many anonymous requests. It's all okay. But if you would like to come forward and identify yourself as Owen's human, just put a little comment in below. I will see you guys on the next video. And I promise I don't do all the weird things, okay? I am a bit of a mad scientist. I've said this before when it comes to these videos. I don't say smash that like button because that is just the most hilariously stupid thing in the whole wide world. But anyway, that's my judgment. If you guys like my videos, continue to follow me. I would love to share more with you. I'll be going back through the comments, asking animals to join me. I'll see if I'm brave enough to do this live. And in the meantime, until the next time that I see you, let the animals light your way. Take care, and I will talk again soon. Bye-bye.